All right guys, we can do this. I've been really curious what the difference was between these two 300-watt cob lights, and so in this video I'm just going to do a super quick comparison. On one hand we have the Amaran 300C, and on the other hand we have the Neewer CB300. Both of these are 300-watt cob lights, and if you're comparing the specs on Amazon, they end up being pretty comparable. So I'd say the biggest observable difference between these two when taking them out of the cases is the power supply that they use. So the Neewer has basically just a single cable that goes up until here. I'll actually play it. This is all it takes to power it. So I think with a lot of lights at this capacity, there's power bricks, like the Amaran has a power brick, and so this one doesn't. Consideration. Next, we've got the Amaran. So the Amaran's got kind of this like big power brick. So that's different between the two for sure. Even when I'm moving them, having a power brick hanging off can definitely lead to a light crashing, and I guess I would consider that if I was going to buy one of these lights. The next thing, literally what I was about to talk about. Next thing I was going to say that you should consider if you're looking between these two lights is the fan, and the fan noise, and the fan control. So only the Neewer has fan control, and they both have about the same fan noise. And so when you're making that kind of comparison, I'd say the Amaran, almost the fan kicks on less frequently than the Neewer does, but the Neewer has fan control. So if you're ever in that situation where you need basically the fan to be quiet, fan control is gonna beat not fan control every time. The next thing that I noticed between using these two is the onboard interface for controls. They're actually fairly close, but I would say that I like the Amaran a little bit better just because it has a dedicated intensity knob. So I have used the apps before, but I kind of just like using the onboard light controls and being able to change the intensity with one knob and just have kind of like confidence of what you're doing as you walk up to the thing is really nice. The power switch is on the bottom. The power source has like a locking mechanism, so we love that. That's great. All right, next we're moving on to the Neewer, and so it's a similar style. There's no dedicated intensity, and so if you're changing the intensity, you have to use the same knob here. But overall, the menu systems aren't hard to navigate. I'd say they're very easy to navigate. It's easy to understand what settings you're changing. Basically, even to set this light up real quickly, to change the temperature and then the intensity in the same click, just takes longer, you know? I don't know if it's like that huge of a deal, but yeah, I'd say interface-wise, they're really close. I'd probably say the Amaran's like a little bit better. So the only other thing I think that you really are like getting when you compare two brands is the app that you're going to use to control the lights. If that's like a really, really big deal to you, I'd say the Amaran is like probably where you have to go because the ecosystem's really good. The app actually gets good reviews. There's, you know, so many devices, so many people like using that software that I think you'll get a lot more support. And so if like controlling a fleet of lights with your iPad or whatever through the same app through Citus or whatever, I definitely think you'd have to go Amaran. Neewer has it, you can definitely do it. The reviews are not great, and you know, that would just be one consideration. If you think you're gonna be playing with the apps, changing the colors a lot, I think it's hard to not do the Amaran. I think one of the last things to consider would probably be the carrying case. So there's obviously like a difference between these two carrying cases. Let me show you both. So I don't know if you've ordered an Amaran light before, but they've got these little like styrofoamy cases. There you go, that's what you get. No handle or anything, but yeah, it's still pretty good. Solid. There is what you get with the Neewer. You open it up. It's got those little strappy holders so the lid will just stay open, and then it's got some nice styrofoam in there. So again, if you plan to travel with these things a lot, I mean, I think that would be a consideration, is the different carrying cases. All right, and I think that's a wrap. I think we went over the comparison points that I thought were like important. Technical specs wise, they're so similar that it's hard to tell online. So I wanted to make a video just showcasing at least what I saw was the difference between these. Hopefully it was helpful for you, and hopefully I catch you in the next one.